Ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? Some people do, and the stories they tell you about them are strange and scary and fun. The haunted house. There was a big old house where nobody lived. Everyone said it was a haunted house. Let's go inside, Dave said to his sister Anne. We are not supposed to, she said. Don't be a scaredy cat, he said. It would be fun, at least, Anne said. Okay. Dave and Anne walked through the empty, dusty house. There is nothing here, said Anne. Let's go home. Wait, said Dave. I want to see what is behind the door. Dave opened the door and walked into the room. Anne waited a few seconds, then she sneaked in after him. Boo! She shouted. Dave screamed. It is only me, silly, said Anne. I know, Dave whispered. But what is that behind you? Mr. Smith sold cats. People came far all over to buy them. Look at the beautiful cats, Nan said to her mother. That is the one I want. She pointed to a cat sitting on the cash register. Wait, what is that cat's name? Nan asked Mr. Smith. Susie, he said. How much does she cost? Asked Nan's mother. Susie is not for sale, said Mr. Smith. But I want to give her to Nan for her birthday. Nan's mother said, I can't sell Susie. Mr. Smith said, I will give you $50. Nan's mother said, I cannot sell her even if I wanted to. Mr. Smith said, Susie's pretty. Nan reached out to pet her. Her head went right to the cat. Her hand went right to the cat. There is nothing there, Nan screamed. I should have not told you, said Mr. Smith. Susie died a year ago, but she comes back to visit Anne now and then. Kate was the biggest bully in school. She liked to pick on Joe because he was so small. Joe, give me your lunch, Kate would shout. Joe would be so scared he would have to give it right over. But one day, Kate said, Joe, give me your bicycle. Joe was so upset he told his teacher. Kate got into a lot of trouble. I am going to get you for this, Kate told Joe. But Kate never got the chance. She suddenly got sick and died. The day after she died, her ghost whispered in Joe's ear, I'm still going to get you. Kate's ghost began to hunt Joe, it had in his desk at school and whispered scary things to him. It jumped out at him from behind trees. It made horrible faces at him at night. One day, while Joe was eating, the ghost rode his bicycle back and forth across the table. "Kate, please stop!" Joe begged. "Never!" the ghost screamed. "I turned itself into an angry bull." "How do you do that?" asked Joe. "I can do anything I want," said the ghost. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. Soon it filled the whole room. That gave Joe an idea. "Kate," he said, "can you make yourself very small?" "Of course," said the ghost. Joe pointed to a little green glass bottle on the table. "Can you make yourself small enough to jump into this?" he asked. "Of course," said the ghost, but it jumped into the bottle. Joe grabbed a cork and pushed it into the bottle. Then he threw the bottle into a river. The river curled into the ocean. The bottle floated away. Kate Ghost has not been heard from since. But if you ever seen a little green bottle washed up on the ocean, don't open it. Open it. One night, George heard people singing in the cemetery. He went inside to listen. "We are singing to a dead one," of the singers told him. Sometimes people forget about him. I'm the dead one. The song was so beautiful, George joined in. It was raining, but everyone kept on singing. One of the singers had George an umbrella. "This will keep your voice nice and dry," she said. They sung a few more songs, then they stopped and vanished. "Ghost!" George cried out in the rain. He ran all the way home. When he got home, he still was holding the umbrella the ghost had given me. George used it until the day he died. Then the umbrella vanished. 3 little ghosts. There was 3 ghosts sitting in pots, eating butter toast. They had butter all over their fingers, running down their wizard, butter on their shirts, running down their feet. Once there was a tiny woman who lived all alone in a tiny house. One day she went for a tiny walk, and that walk was come to a tiny graveyard. And the tiny graveyard, she saw a tiny grave, and on the tiny grave she found a set of tiny teeth. Look at these teeth, she said the tiny woman in her tiny voice. Just what I need. And she popped them right into her tiny mouth. Then she went home and took a tiny nap. Soon she heard a tiny voice calling, "Give me back my teeth. I want my teeth." She hid her tiny head under her tiny blanket and closed her tiny eyes and began to, but again the voice called, "Give me back my teeth. I want my teeth." This scared the tiny woman so much she threw the tiny teeth out her tiny window and kept your tiny teeth. The tiny teeth woman shouted. The tiny voice shouted back, "And you keep your tiny hand off my tiny teeth." Then the tiny woman heard a tiny footsteps run back to the graveyard. If a ghost ever screamed, you just say, "Crisscross, double cross, ghost get lost," and it will go away. The Haunted House is based on an English joke of the 70s. Susie is drawn from Victor's Land, but Ghost Animals. A little green battle was suggested by a legend about a troubled ghost in Short Sun, England. That was the end of The Ghost.